Good morning. Welcome to First Parish in Concord. Whether you're here on site or online, it is good to be together. For those of you who I have not met, I am the Reverend Amy Friedman. I serve as your Minister of Religious Education, and I am delighted to be offering this all-ages service with Don Van Patten, Reverend Howard Dana, and our music ministry team. For those of you who are joining us through the webinar, our Zoom host today is Teresa, and she's available to you to answer any questions that you have. And we want to thank you, Teresa, for your support and your leadership. We are committed to inclusion here at First Parish, and so that means there are hearing assist headphones available to you. If that would be helpful, please ask an usher. There is an elevator available on this side if that helps you with accessibility, and we also have handicap accessible restrooms. I want to thank you with all sincerity for the ways that you help to take care of this community. Masks are required, and we are doing our best to take care of one another, and so that means if you are not feeling well, please stay home, and we hope that you will join us online. If you or a family member has COVID, please let us know, and we will let our congregation know if there has been a COVID exposure. We're doing all that we can to keep our community safe. You may notice we have our windows open for ventilation and we have air purifiers in our rooms. We want to let you know that all of our church leaders, our choir members, and teachers are vaccinated, and we encourage vaccination for everyone who is medically able to do so. With that said, I would like to begin with our call to worship. We gathered this morning to find inspiration and hope. May our spirits be renewed like the daffodils bursting forth from the earth. May we open our hearts to the possibility of healing. As a Unitarian Universalist community, may we be grounded in love, grow in compassion, and help repair the world. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. I'm Dawn. That was great. Good morning. Oh, it's so nice to be here with all of you this morning. I'm Dawn Van Patten, your Assistant Director of Religious Exploration. I would like to invite the Kessel Stewart family up to light the chalice this morning. Each week we start our gathering time by lighting the chalice. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And there are congregations all over the country and all over the world that are lighting chalices with us this morning. If you've been attending our family services, you know that we've also been lighting a peace candle. So this morning, we're asking the flame of our chalice to hold our hopes for peace within ourselves, within our community, and in our world. Thank you so much. Want to try again? Try again. It's going to go. We have confirmation. It is lit. A little slow to warm up this morning. There we go. All right. Excellent. Oh, yes. So I was thrown by the flame taking a little time to get started. We have our chalice lighting response, which may be new to some of you, but I'll bet our families know it. Since it's new, we're going to do a call and response style. All right. So I'll start us off. You can do the hand motions as well. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are Unitarian Universalists. With minds that think. Hearts that love, and hands that are ready to serve.
Thank you, Don. Today is the last Sunday in our official pledge campaign, so the last kind of public Sunday, and I'd like to invite Brad Hubbard Nelson to come forward. He's been one of the faces of the campaign, and he has a pledge campaign testimonial for us this morning. Come on up.
Good morning, everyone. I think that was fun. My name is Brad Hubbard Nelson, and I'm happy to have been a member of First Parish since Andrea and I moved to Concord nearly 22 years ago. And we moved from California with our one-year-old daughter at the time, and we had heard about First Parish from friends of ours that lived in town. I hadn't really thought that we'd be part of a faith community, and since we hadn't been before, and faith in a higher power is not something that I subscribe to. I have faith in people. But being connected with a community is what we needed. And after having lived in places where community really was lacking, this one seemed pretty special. We decided to check it out and enjoyed what we found, and Sunday mornings became something to look forward to. One of the first services we came to was the youth service. And that's always been one of my favorites, along with the coming of age, because I found the maturity of the youth here to be really refreshing, and it's very much of a contrast to what I had when I was growing up. It was nice to know that our kids could be part of that, and they got a lot out of RE, so did Andrea and I, helping out as volunteering as teachers. It was a chance to give back a bit and also to get to know other parents. First Parish is a place where we've met a lot of our friends. Ferry Beach, musical events, book group, Spanish-speaking night, a lot of things, and I enjoy those quite a bit. It's something to really take part in. When I meet someone here, I always find we usually share values like honoring all beings, standing on the side of love, and that for me is much more than a shared creed. It doesn't mean I always agree with everybody on everything, but we come from a place where we can understand each other. And what's more, this church really connected me with giving. Not just money, but helping to do good things, and in an easy way where I could learn about issues and how to work on them. And at First Parish, I joined the environmental team, which was my first climate work, which is a big part of what I do now. I like working to help people in this church become more sustainable and do less climate disruption. And I'm so glad I found this. So as I look into the future, I think we're going to need the support and love from this congregation more and more. It's hard for me to be optimistic about everything in the world, such big challenges facing society, but being with you all gives a chance to address them, and it adds a lot of meaning to my life. And that is really what this place is about to me. So these are the reasons that we support First Parish every year, and I hope that everyone here does as well. I'm looking forward to opening up and connecting with many old friends as we open up more and more, and meeting new ones. So let's do whatever we can to keep First Parish strong through the changes ahead. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Brad. And I would draw your attention to an insert that's in your order of service, or there's a slide that can go up for the folks watching at home. We are at about 54% of our goal, so that means we have a little bit of a ways to go. So if you have not been able to make a pledge yet to First Parish in Concord for the coming year, I would encourage you to do that. It's easy to do that. There are pledge cards available in the back of the sanctuary. You can also go online to our website and pledge there. You can also follow a link through FP Weekly and pledge there as well. If you pledge $520 more than you pledged last year or more, you'll be entered into a raffle for this beautiful quilt. Elaine Wallace did this quilt. Its title is Farm Girl, and it can be yours if you win the raffle. So take a look at that. Please participate in the pledge drive, and we'll all get to our goal together. Now Beth will lead us in our opening song.
Anderson will lead us in our opening song.
We are here together, and this holy moment, and we grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. Here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. We are here together.
We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place.
Sometimes not so grateful for the winding of the road. Right, yeah. But take a moment and let this sink in. Look around. We are actually an all ages community gathered together in this place. Let it soak into your heart. I am truly grateful that we are here.
Do you remember March 2020? Yeah. Our daily lives were disrupted. Work, school, our religious community all moved online. We were doing what we could to keep ourselves safe and each other safe. We quickly made the shift to online.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about how we shifted. In religious exploration, our goal is to maintain our sense of community and connection, and that wasn't something that we were going to give up. And so I'm so grateful that I get to work with Dawn, and together we came up with creative ways of staying connected. One of them was called Good Morning with Amy and Dawn. It wasn't syndicated or anything. I still have hopes. But we gathered, actually it was a Tuesday morning, because remember a lot of kids were at home and schools still hadn't quite figured out what they were doing, many of them. So we gathered with the youngest kids, the preschoolers through second graders, and it was 8:30 to 9, and we would light a chalice, we would share our joys and concerns, we would have a mindful moment and a joyful activity. And this fed my spirit, and I know it was great to connect with some younger children, some of whom had never spoken when we were together at First Parish, but suddenly were really sharing their life experience with us. Now, you might be surprised to hear what the absolute favorite activity of Good Morning with Amy and Dawn was. It was playing Simon Says. Now, I actually miss playing Simon Says, and I'm leading the service, so I get to play it with you all right now. So if you haven't played it in a while, I'll remind you that Simon Says, you do everything when I say Simon Says, and if I don't say Simon Says, you're not supposed to do it, okay? And of course, you have free will here. You don't want to play Simon Says. I can't really make you play Simon Says, but I really would like you to play Simon Says with me, okay? So, Simon Says, stand up. Simon Says, tap your head. Simon Says, stomp your feet. Simon Says, sit down. Simon Says, raise your eyebrows. Stop. Are you still raising your eyebrows? You get the idea. When life is really out of control, one of the most fun things to do is to play Simon Says.
I'm so glad she didn't make you do the jumping jacks, because that was a favorite of some of our friends when we were online. I did so many jumping jacks. The good news is when you're on Zoom, you can only see your upper body. So
It took us a little while to realize that.
Right. I mean, otherwise you have to move things around, right? And you push your camera back, so it's just easier to do them from your chair. But thank you, Amy, for no jumping jacks.
Yes, you're welcome.
So one of the other things we did is Peter Bowden, who's somewhere here today, he taught us how to use, or introduced us to StreamYard, which allowed us to give you really kind of graphically fun family services. And so that was a lot of fun. I still wish we had a blooper reel, because Amy and I would meet once or twice a week, once a year, and go over sort of what we were going to do, kind of a rehearsal. And yeah, I many times wish that we had sort of we could play the bloopers for you, because it's kind of fun. So during those family services, we offered emotional, spiritual tools for, we're all going through some hard stuff. So ways to cope with our hard feelings. We talked about hard feelings. And I remember one of the things that we did, it's hard to do this with a microphone in my hand, but imagine you have a big ball of Play-Doh, and you're going to roll it into a ball, okay? And then you're going to put some little spiky things on it. And what you're holding right now is the coronavirus, right? So we made a coronavirus, and what do you think we did with it? That's right. So you get to smash that coronavirus. And that was very fulfilling to be able to just tactily squash the coronavirus. You can still do this.
Yes.
The idea hasn't expired.
We were really glad to offer emotional and spiritual tools for children and also for families to navigate these times. And I just, the spirit of fun was important for healing, and I also just want to acknowledge that I know many of our families, many individuals in our community suffered losses due to the pandemic, and I just want to acknowledge that at the same time we all share the grief with you of having to lose people we love to a very scary disease during a very hard time.
So we found that connection was more important than ever, because we couldn't be physically connected, so we needed to find ways to stay connected, because we needed the support of our community. We needed to hear voices. We needed to hear what people were feeling and thinking, right? We needed to help each other out. So one of the things that happened, one of the new things that happened during that time was Laura Venesi and I created the junior youth group. So it was— Who
here is in the junior youth group or was in the junior youth group? Great.
Oh, I love seeing those hands go up. We've had so much fun. That group did not exist before the pandemic. We created it during the pandemic. We started meeting online. We would play games. Kahoot. I didn't know what that was until the pandemic. It's an online trivia game. When it felt safe to meet outside, we would meet up here. We would be masked outdoors still. And we tried to balance the fun times with doing some deeper things. So we had fun. We had a big birthday party, and we remember it was everybody's birthday once. So we had a big birthday party. We did a lot of social action projects. When I was thinking back on it, I thought, wow, we did a lot. We held vote signs in the circle just to remind people to get out and vote during a very important election. We story walk. We put a story walk on the labyrinth. That was to promote the Racial Justice June Journeys Month. And then we made signs, welcome signs for Afghan families that were coming into the States. So we've done a lot with what we could, being outside, masked when we had to be.
And as you know, we often refer to what we do as RE, and that stands for religious education, but it also stands for exploration. And so we went apple picking, and we helped to clean out the community garden on a fall day. And we found ways to be together out in the world, and I think that will continue even when our masks can go away. I want to invite Hugh to come up with us.
Good morning, my name is Hugh. These words by Fred Gillis are found in our hymnal, number 501. Spirit of community, in which we share and find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support, those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged.
Each Sunday, as a part of our service, we honor milestones in the lives of our community. If you would like to be added to our pastoral care list, please email Reverend Liz Weber, who is our Minister for Pastoral Care. Here are the people in our congregation who asked to be held by us today. Our new social action manager, the Reverend Paul Langston Daly, will have surgery on April 8th for a torn rotator cuff. He also has a mild concussion. These are the results of being struck by a car while crossing the street. Thankfully, he is relatively okay. Paul will work with minimal hours this month as he recovers. He welcomes cards, but requests no calls or emails, and we offer our prayers for his surgery and healing. Brooke S. celebrates her daughter's marriage. Blessings to the couple, Merrill and Logan. Sadly, First Parish member Nancy Cronin died on Wednesday morning after a stroke the week before. She spent her final days at home, surrounded by family. We send our loving care to Nancy's family. We are now going to join together in a centering prayer. And I invite you, if it's comfortable, to just take a moment to stretch, to take a deep breath, and let it go with a sigh. There are many different traditions about the placement of your hands for a time of prayer, and it's up to you to decide what's most comfortable for you, whether you'd like to leave them open on your lap, or if you prefer to clasp them. Spirit of life, we pause to give thanks for food which nourishes our bodies, for family, whether nearby or far away, for ancestors and teachers who helped shape us, for friends who lift our spirits, and for this gathered community. In the midst of struggle, may a clear path be found. In times of uncertainty, may we find caring companions along our way. As we prepare to share and listen to one another, may we do so with care and kindness. May we cultivate wisdom and love through our living. Amen. So today's service is hybrid, not just because we're on site and online, but because we're combining the rituals of our family service and the rituals of this 10 o'clock service. So in our family service time, or during our opening circle time, we often have a time of sharing in which we share with one another our joys and concerns. And here in the 10 o'clock service, I understand it has continued to be the practice to have a reflection question. So right now, our reflection question, and those at home will see it on your screen, the question is, who or what is on your mind and heart today? I invite you to share either with your family or with someone you don't know, and we will have a time of sharing here in our meeting house and also in the chat during our Zoom webinar. And you'll have about 2 minutes to share with your neighbor. I want to invite Evie to come forward.
Good morning, I'm Evie. Hi. I'm Evie. I am closing our time of sharing with these words from Fred Gillis. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all of humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, consciousness that gives us power to remember, to love, and to care.
join me in Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
The first time I ever had my toenails painted was October 16th, 1999. The reason I remember the date was it was the night before I became ordained to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. You see, my home church is First Parish in Waltham, and they officially ordained me. I was so grateful to the Reverend Martha Niebank, who happened to be serving First Parish at that time. She, not only did she warmly welcome me back into the congregation that I'd grown up in, she hosted the party the night before my ordination. And all of my family members and out-of-town guests were included. Who here has ever been a part of an ordination ceremony? Have you ever attended one or been to one? Okay, and those of you online, if you have, you can put it in the chat. If you have been part of one, you know that it is an exciting time. It's a time when people gather from many different congregations, and religious leaders have words to offer, words of wisdom, both to the new minister and to the gathered community. And so that's why she hosted that party the night before, for those people who came in to celebrate. And it was a good party. There was food, as you would expect, and things to drink. I remember there was even dancing, and there was a basket of rhythm instruments. But what I did not expect, and I was not prepared for, was Martha brought out this box of nail polish. And she explained that this was a tradition at Star Island. Now, who here has been to Star Island? Some of you. Star Island is a beautiful Unitarian and UCC conference center on one of the Isles of Shoals off of the coast of New Hampshire. It is a magnificent, magical place surrounded by natural beauty, and I encourage all of you to go there. I had been there before, but I didn't know anything about this toenail painting. Martha's box of polish had every color you could imagine, not just those reds and pinks and purple shades that you usually see, but also gold and white and green and blue. And then she also had in that same box these shakers filled with glitter. And she explained that you needed to paint one another's toenails, and then you sprinkle glitter on top of the wet polish. Now, all the party guests were people who I loved dearly. There was my Sunday school teacher who taught me about Buddhism. There were people who had supported my family when my brother had died. There were people who carried on the transformation of the Welcoming Congregation program that I had led as a young adult. Only now, they were all barefoot and on the deck and bent over painting each other's toes. My feet are ticklish, so I was nervous. But with warm encouragement, the treasurer, who happened to be someone who I didn't know very well, painted my toes. One of the funniest things about that night was that my internship supervisors, the Reverend Bill and Barbara Hamilton Holloway, who had come from Berkeley, California, were shocked. They confided in me that they had thought that a New England congregation was going to be very stuffy and reserved. And even though it was October, the ushers at my ordination wore sandals so they could show off those sparkly toes. So I invite you now, if you're able, to wiggle your toes. Imagine your toenails in each one in a different bright color, and bedazzled with eco-friendly glitter. We didn't know about that then. You can always learn. And if you can, I invite you to place your feet on the floor and take some steps in place. If you're in a wheelchair or a scooter, you can imagine yourself moving forward. And arrive here in this moment. Each one of us is on a journey. We have stories to tell about the places we've been that have brought us here to this place, First Parish in Concord. As I mentioned before, our paths have had more twists and turns than we expected lately. It's unbelievable what we've been through, what we continue to navigate. My heart is still trying to catch up with my feet, and that's why I invited you to do that little bit, to arrive here in this moment. And our global family has been on an advanced placement course in learning how to live in new ways. Whether you're a child, or you're a teen, or you're an adult, or you're an elder, each one of us has had to learn so much over the past 2 years. We've had to learn how to be online, use new online platforms. We've had to find new ways to shop, new ways to keep our families safe, new ways to relate to people in our communities. And here we are in this space together, something that was never remarkable before, a community of all ages. Every hug that I get now, I don't take for granted. It's an important new way that we can be together. And I want to thank you, the First Parish congregation, for allowing our youngest children to hold our family service and our religious exploration in the parish hall. I know that you've had coffee hour outside, sometimes in very frosty conditions, and that has allowed us to worship and to explore together on Sunday mornings. This pandemic is not over. But with better trends, some restrictions are loosening. You may have noticed that the tape that used to keep the pews apart are now opened again. And we are finding ways to sing together, something else we'll never take for granted. And please stay tuned for more ways that we are ever evolving in our guidelines. On Tuesday evening, Beth, Liz, and I met with many of you online for a listening session over Zoom. And it was really wonderful to be together, to see some of your faces. We're all dedicated here at First Parish, but our paths just hadn't crossed in a while. And we started our time lifting up what we loved about First Parish. And I am so grateful to so many of you who mentioned being an intergenerational community, all ages coming together. Several choir members mentioned the importance of creating harmony and how that feeds your soul every week. People spoke about the positive change that we can create by doing social action together. One person lifted up our ability to tackle difficult problems together and to find solutions with respect. And finally, someone shared that First Parish simply is a community where he is known and loved. So today, I celebrate all our lives. Wherever you are on the journey of life, whatever stage you happen to be in, you are welcome here. You are loved. You are loved not only despite of your mistakes and flaws, but maybe because of them. If the past 2 years have taught us anything, they have taught us that we are all capable of learning and growth. Let's bring that same spirit of creativity and flexibility that we've been practicing to create the religious community that we all long for. The reason I became a Unitarian Universalist minister was because of the support and the growth I experienced growing up in a Unitarian Universalist congregation. And the reason that I became your minister of religious education is because I continue to believe that learning and exploring and creating a community of loving kindness is the way that we all grow. Diana Butler Bass writes, "There must be a reorientation that recognizes the congregation as a learning community of faith. All need to be mentors and learners for each other." So what is your gift? Bring it here and teach us. What heavy load do you carry? Remember, you do not need to carry it alone. What is your strength? Please share your experience. What questions do you have? There is a whole community of seekers that want to explore with you. What hopes do you have for our world? Together, we can create positive change. As my colleague, the Reverend Richard Gilbert, reminds us, how long does it take to grow a soul? To love and to be loved, and to help repair the world? One lifetime. So it's best to be totally engaged in the process. Blessed be. I want to invite Laura Venesey to come forward.
Hello. I have a couple of hats on. I wanted to just thank Amy for that wonderful sermon, but also to just say how grateful I am to be here today with all of the different ages here. I'm honored to hear you all sing and hear Hugh and Evie speak and see Ben and Andrew light the candle, so thank you. And I'm honored to be part of this community. I am teaching Seagull, which is the new and improved owl, and we will be finishing up today with a 6-hour session, so looking forward to that. At least I am. It's going to be fun, guys, I promise. But I'm up here also on behalf of the social action group AWE, or Advocates for Women's Empowerment. We are sponsoring this month's Share the Plate recipient, which is the Emma Fund. The Emma Fund, or the Eastern Massachusetts Abortion Fund, works to reduce barriers to abortion care through the advocacy and direct aid. The goal is to make abortion accessible for everyone who needs it. Last year alone, they helped over 1,000 people, and the numbers keep growing. Abortion care is expensive, and the Emma Fund helps people cover the costs that they cannot afford. With the near total bans on abortion in Texas, especially, that went into effect in September, and the Supreme Court poised to overturn Roe v. Wade this summer, access to abortion is under attack like never before. A record number of states have passed restrictions on abortion care this year, and I hate to say it like this, but when Roe is overturned this summer, abortion will immediately become illegal in at least 26 states. It is true that the right to abortion has never been enough to guarantee access to care, especially for those who are Black, Indigenous, people of color, teens, or those just working hard to make ends meet. But the increased political barriers will continue to create larger disparities. Looming bans will dramatically increase the need for travel and the cost for accessing care. Let's think about that for a second. Abortion funds like the Emma Fund will play a more critical role than ever, directly helping to cover the cost of care for people living in Massachusetts and those even able to travel from other states. They are already helping people who are coming here from Texas for abortion care. And imagine how many more people they will need to help when bans go into effect in so many more and much closer states, like New Hampshire. All and the Emma Fund believe that access to abortion is a matter of reproductive and racial justice, and that it is a human right to be able to access proper health care. I light this social action candle today in gratitude of your generosity and for the opportunity to highlight this dire issue. Thank you for supporting the Emma Fund and for helping people access necessary abortion care.
Thank you, Laura. And all month in April, we will be sharing our plate with the Emma Fund. So any Sunday that you're in church or watching online, you can contribute. Very soon, the ushers will come through the congregation with plates. I invite you to give generously for the good work and witness of the Emma Fund and First Parish in Concord. And if you're watching online or later on YouTube, you can just simply go to our website and donate or text to the number that will appear on your screen. Let us all share in this good work together. As we begin to close our service, we would like to invite you to either come outside for coffee hour or to find your way to the worship sharing circle. If you're coming to coffee hour or the circle, just go downstairs and get your coffee. You can prepare it in the kitchen. Please keep your masks on while you're indoors, and then come out to the terrace here. We've got a couple of nice fire tables, and you can chat with folks out there. There's a welcome table out there. There will be a standing committee representative out there. There's also a table where you can write cards to folks who were shared in the pastoral milestones. If you're interested in the worship sharing circle, please just make your way up the stairs and sort of to the back to the Ripley room, and there'll be folks there. There'll also be a link online so that you can join that way to the worship sharing circle if you would like. Want to let you know that there's some things coming up. Easter week is upon us, so lots going on next week. We start next Sunday with Palm Sunday, and we're also going to be decorating Easter eggs if you're children or youth next Sunday at 10 a.m. Just join us downstairs, and we'll decorate some Easter eggs. Bring a dozen hard-boiled eggs with you if you can. The rest of the week goes like this. On Maundy, Thursday, there will be a service, a Tenebrae service with communion at 7:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary. The following day, Good Friday, there will be a Tenebrae service also at 7:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary. And then Sunday, April 17th, is the Easter Sunday, big morning here and an Easter egg hunt afterward. So I hope that you can join us for part or all of next week as we do Easter. Beth is going to lead us in our closing hymn.
Guide my feet while I run this race, for I don't want to run this race in vain. These are the words of our closing hymn, a traditional spiritual from the American slavery period that was part of a collection of William Lawrence James, who taught at Spelman and Morehouse College and was a folklorist. It was also arranged in the way that we do it by Wendell Whalum, also a faculty member at Morehouse. As far as we know, these words were passed down via oral tradition from the enslaved, and they prayerfully yet firmly request guidance in the challenges of living in that path that Amy talked about. This metaphor doesn't work for everyone. We are all differently abled and have a variety of ways to imagine that traveling. But the plea for guidance and for the companionship of the community is a universal plea. So I invite you to raise your voices, raise your bodies, and let us sing Guide My Feet in the oral tradition. So I will sing to you the opening line that goes through each verse. Eric, A flat. Hold on. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race, for I don't want to run this. Once again, guide my feet. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race, for I don't want to run this race in vain. Hold my hand while I
between the dawn and dusk of our being, let us be brave and loving. In our little passage through the light, let us sustain and forward the human venture in gentleness, in service, and in thought. I'm going to invite Dawn to come forward to lead our benediction.
Thank you all for this time together. It's been really lovely to see you. It's been a long time. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.